What does this now mean for James Harden as well as the Sixers?
And now he's available to be traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. They have been on the search for a point guard. James Harden has likely played his last game in Philadelphia.
I gotta admit, this was kind of unexpected. The writing was on the wall, but I felt like things were put in place to make sure that everybody would return to the Philadelphia 76ers next year. But alas, it looks like once again, I was incorrect. Because we got some breaking news, and before we get to the content, tomorrow on free agency, June 30th, we're announcing 5 giveaway winners to split $1,000 between them. All you have to do to enter, subscribe, and turn on our notifications on this channel. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. The NFL and NBA season are officially over, and I need something to hold me over until at least the NFL season comes back. So I've been playing prize picks for the WNBA and the MLB, and I've been fairly successful. It's a good way to get some extra action on games that I wouldn't really watch otherwise. I post my picks onto my Instagram story daily, and I've been hitting on a decent amount of them. And right now, when you use my promo code microphone, they'll double your deposit up to $100. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The Philadelphia 76ers had a very interesting conclusion to their season, primarily consisting of Joel Embiid and James Harden performing horribly in their final game together, and then Joel Embiid saying that they needed more help.
We gotta, come back and find ways to just keep improving and, help the team. You can't win alone. I can't win alone. Me and James, we just can't win alone. That's why basketball is played 5-on-5. So, we just need everybody to just, try to keep finding ways to get better, and, we'll be fine.
Following this, things were a little awkward, primarily in the sense that Doc Rivers said that he intended to coach the Philadelphia 76ers next year.
Are you planning to be the coach of the team next year?
Yeah. I think I got 2 years left. So,
given the tenor of what you've seen happen in the last 2 or 3 days, where coaches of the year, guys with titles.
Yeah, no one's safe in our business, and I get that.
And very shortly after, we could tell that probably wasn't going to happen based upon how James Harden said he felt about Doc Rivers.
How has your relationship been with Doc, and would you like to see him back?
Our relationship is okay.
Very shortly after, we got a report from Ramona Shelburne saying that behind the scenes, from what I'm told, one person said to me that it would be hard to see James Harden wanting to come back and play for Doc Rivers again. And ultimately, it resulted in the Philadelphia 76ers firing Doc Rivers and hiring Nick Nurse, which means you could expect Joel Embiid to play 45 minutes a game next season. Jokes aside, I feel like it made a lot of sense to move on from Doc Rivers at that point. There are multiple cores for him to mess with. I feel like the Philadelphia 76ers were more than capable of winning a championship. They had a remarkable assortment of talent, and the only man that you could blame at this point is Doc Rivers. He wasn't necessarily doing a good job in those head coaching chess matches in the playoffs. There's only so much leeway you could give an individual, and given the fact that Daryl Morey quite literally has a man crush on James Harden.
But I don't think they realized James Harden was as good as he is now, right?
That's correct. To be fair, I don't know if anyone did. We put all our assets in to trade for him, but no one could anticipate he'd be the best player in the world.
Why did you put all your assets? Why him?
Both the eye test, because he looks amazing. I think anyone watched him, but if you looked at data at the time, once he had the ball in his hands, and it's still true to this day, and I get a lot of because someone asked me who's a better scorer, him or Michael Jordan, and it's just factual that James Harden is a better scorer than Michael Jordan.
Based on the math.
Based on literally, like, you give James Harden the ball, and before you're giving up the ball, how many points do you generate, which is how you should measure offense. James Harden is by far number one in NBA history, and he was number one even at the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was coming off the bench. It was a little more hidden.
This didn't surprise me at all whatsoever. Daryl Morey even said that he would do anything to bring James Harden back.
And a follow-up with James obviously having the player option. Do you anticipate him being back here with the Sixers, being able to re-sign him?
James. We can't have those discussions yet, but we
we are interested in bringing him back.
Alas, this is where things get really, really juicy. Originally, my prediction was the fact that James Harden was going to return to the Philadelphia 76ers, and they were going to run it back one more time. I mean, if there was one change that I thought could potentially happen, it would be Tobias Harris being traded from the Sixers, because he was the least productive player on the Philadelphia 76ers. His contract is also the most tradable, and recently, Tobias Harris said this.
Casual Sixers fans, they'll trade me for a crumble cookie.
Now, Jake Fisher would also agree that the Philadelphia 76ers and the Los Angeles Clippers have been in contact this week, league sources told at Yahoo Sports, where Los Angeles, among wide-ranging talks on Marcus Morris and Norman Powell, have approached Philadelphia on separate ideas of trading for James Harden and Tobias Harris. Oh, come on. James Harden's not leaving the Philadelphia 76ers. Daryl Morey did everything he possibly could to keep James Harden happy. Fired his head coach, put him in the best possible position to succeed. We got some breaking news. Now, this breaking news is very sinister, and I'm scared that I'm gonna get like my channel deleted for telling you guys this, or possibly banned on Twitter for mentioning this. But an anonymous Twitter page stated that James Harden was going to leave the Philadelphia 76ers. And then he added Woj and said, step up your game, and he's going to either the Clippers or the Suns. And originally we would take this with a grain of salt. And then something crazy would happen. Both Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania would both report this news, saying, breaking, 76ers guard James Harden is picking up his $35.6 million option, and sides are beginning to work together in exploring trade scenarios, sources tell ESPN. It's expected that Harden has played his last game for Philadelphia. Wow, okay. Well, the Clippers and Knicks are expected to be among the teams that'll engage with the 76ers on a potential James Harden trade, sources tell ESPN. Crazy thing is, this anonymous Twitter account that got about like 40,000 followers is officially banned. You can't check it out anymore. It's gone. So Woj and Shams may have sent their shooters for this one. And there goes my dreams of ever becoming an NBA insider. I'll just stick to reporting the news to you guys. Now, the Los Angeles Clippers recently decided to part ways with Eric Gordon. They traded John Wall, Luke Kennard, and a pick swap for Eric Gordon. And then Eric Gordon played about 20 games for the Los Angeles Clippers at that point, and now they're moving on from him. The reason being that the Clippers would save $100 million in luxury tax by cutting him. Or are they doing something else? Why would the Clippers do this? Well, it looks like they might be locked in on a potential move for James Harden. So check this out, because Russell Westbrook has already stated that he'd be interested in returning to the Clippers. And I don't necessarily think that Westbrook is hunting for a gigantic max contract, given the fact that this young man's already made $336 million throughout his career in the NBA and has successful investments on the side. So we're potentially looking at a Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and an Ivica Zubac starting five for the Clippers. What's even scarier is, unlike other super teams, or unlike teams like, I don't know, the Phoenix Suns, this team still has a lot of depth. Now, I don't know what they would give up in a trade for James Harden, if I'm being honest, but we're talking about Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, Mason Plumlee, Nicholas Batum, sort of, which is a tremendous amount of depth to have on your team, and I can't imagine them giving up a lot for James Harden, given the fact that the Sixers don't really have that much leverage in this particular instance. I feel like the 76ers are doing this because they either have their eyes on Kyrie Irving or Damian Lillard. Regardless, if the Clippers can pull this off, this will be phenomenal for them. The primary issue that the Clippers have had is the fact that Kawhi Leonard has not ever been able to stay healthy. Either he's load managing in the regular season to make sure he doesn't get injured for the playoffs, or he's injured during the playoffs. Now, you kind of have some additional firepower in the event that Kawhi Leonard can't play, and you have additional depth. Theoretically speaking, if Kawhi Leonard goes down with an injury, it's not the biggest deal anymore. There's familiarity between Russell Westbrook and James Harden from their time in Houston together. There's also familiarity between Russell Westbrook and James Harden from their days in OKC together. There's familiarity between Russell Westbrook and Paul George from their time in OKC together. There's a lot of links here, and I would say I'm very excited for the Los Angeles Clippers if they pull this off. But historically, we have to admit, there's been so many years where I've come on this channel and told you that I am very excited about the Clippers because their team makes makes sense, and they have an incredible head coach in Ty Lue. But every single year, they get hit by the injury bug. I mean, I'm looking at their team as is, and they have an awesome team. The only issue is the fact that they can't stay healthy. If this team stayed healthy, they would win championships, and I firmly believe that. And this is coming from a Laker fan, by the way. We'll keep you guys posted on what goes on with the Philadelphia 76ers and James Harden, but it seems like James Harden is officially leaving the 76ers. If you're a Sixers fan, how do you feel about this? Because Damian Lillard is enjoying being cryptic right now, saying, and I quote, "survived too many storms to be bothered by raindrops." We get it. Damian Lillard is loyal. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.